3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? We got Andy here, and he has his super pretty max rarity invoked Dogmatika deck, and he's just going to do a profile for us because these cards are absolutely beautiful. So let's have a look.
I don't think it's one on your YouTube you have there.
No.
Alright, let's get into it. So the Alistair.
Oh, so one thing, just flip them around.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, sick. So we have the secret rare
starters,
Alistair.
3 Alistair, 3 Clesia, 2 Fleur, 1 Maximus.
Oh, nice.
I think this format is better to play 2 Fleur now because there's more dragons, and also discard out Zeus if they somehow break your whole board and clean up your board. This is a very good card. You can normal summon, you can special summon Ecclesia and chain Fleur to this when they try to activate Zeus. I think this is fine. But this is really bad versus just Eldritch, so it's a hit and miss.
Okay.
And then the hand traps. It's more Dragon Link, so probably playing Nib and Droll. But
Secret Ash, ulti Droll, ulti Nib.
yeah, I don't know about Nib because there's still a lot of Eldritch around now that Drytron and Virtual isn't.
I suppose it depends what you think people are playing.
Yeah, I think it's good because it hits Zeus.
Yeah.
It's not the worst hand trap versus Eldritch Zeus, but it's not the best either. That's the monsters. And for the one-offs, just the Core Buy and the Terraforming. I would consider probably playing one Instant Fusion as well because getting drilled is terrible. And for hand traps, probably Gamma if you don't like pricking. Because if you activate Meltdown, they chain Droll, you just end your turn. So having more outs.
So you reckon maybe you might consider swapping the Nibs for the Gammas?
Yeah, I think this for Gamma is good. And then the Invoked package. Can probably go into Invocation if you're not getting too unlucky with Desires. I double banished Invocation way too much, so I started playing 3. Earlier today, I actually banished 2 of my Invocation when I started out one, so it's not the best. The Dear Servant. I used to play 3 Desires and 2 Prosperity, but I'm just opening too much, and I'm just kept drawing more costs from each other, so I'm testing a 2 and 2 ratio, because it doesn't matter which one you see. If you see any of them, you're probably in a good position.
Yeah, for sure.
This can find Core Buy, this can find your Meltdown, can find your Nadir Servant.
Do you think if you played Prosperity and maybe just cut the Desires, you would play 2 Invocation instead?
I probably would, yeah. But I'd probably play 3 Prosperity. But the thing with Prosperity is you probably never want to. You will never do a double 6 banish. You usually do banish 3 and banish.
So you're usually just looking for cards, yeah.
Yeah, just using this to find a better card, like a better upstart, I think. And then for the quick plays. So this is the same ratio I played last format. I side 1 more of each because this deck obviously has a lot of issues dealing with floodgates, even though this is a floodgate deck. If they make VFD, you're probably in a really bad position because punishment needs to target monster with the
Fortunately for us, they will not be making VFD anymore.
Not anymore, but Shenshen is as bad.
Yeah, well that's it.
Equally as bad. So like Droplet is just very good versus floodgates, like Inspector Border versus Zeus versus Trident. And you can just abuse it for free by activating Meltdown Alistair. You just chain your Droplet and just
just kill him.
You actually don't lose a card. And Cosmic is just Eldritch, right? This deck was really hard for Eldritch, so you probably want something to out it. You just chain it on their Conquistador to buy you out a turn, and also outs Floodgates. The traps, the 2 punishment and 1 schism. That's the main deck 40. I've seen people play 41 and 42, but I think that's wrong.
Yeah, 40 seems fine. You want to see
Nadir every hand.
And Nadir, obviously.
The more card you have, the less Nadir you see. And I don't like Upstart because even though it cuts you to 39, it makes you lose to draw even more.
Right, yeah, for no real benefit, whereas the Prosperities are probably better because you have to see 3 cards.
And
hold your hand around beating draw.
Draw your Desires, you still draw 2, right? And if you draw back rows and stuff, if you drew Droplet or Punishment, you can actually play still. And with certain decks, a Core Buy actually ends their turn. Like Dino, if you Core Buy their Misk, they probably don't really have a turn. That's the main deck.
Very nice.
That's extra deck. So the usual is this, 1 Omega, and 1 so these are the extra deck send targets. Omega, it's good because you can infinitely abuse it with Maximus, but you can definitely cut it. And for the Invoke package, play the Caliga today just to test, but usually I'd play Raijin.
Okay. Did it come up?
It didn't actually, because I was hoping it to go second and make it versus Dragon Link, but never happened. So I guess just there. But I would probably cut these two for Millenniumize and a Raijin. So because they're instant fusion targets, and also Millenniumize also stops you from getting drawn.
Yeah.
And Ash in general. And the Shadow.
Well, I suppose if you don't draw the instant fusion, you can always banish them off pot.
Yeah.
So.
I think it makes game plan easy as well, because when you have Pot of Prosperity, you just know which one you want to send. Unless, usually just 3. I think it's very rarely that you
That's
go
an
6.
ulti construct.
That is an ulti construct.
Very nice, very nice.
And then for the links. So if Nadir goes to 1, I'd probably cut these and the Purgatrio, but this is still good because there's so many games you just actually just push the damage with your Purgatrio. With Alistair in hand, you can deal easily 8k damage just with one Purgatrio if they don't have a very strong board. Artemis is good because it makes you dodge a nib. You normal Alistair link this and Makaba and then Ecclesia, so that's 4 summon. Even though you have Makaba against the Nibiru, it's still not great to waste a monster negate on your own turn when you could avoid it. So I think if you don't have Maximus in hand, you can definitely play this.
Very nice.
It's actually going from 70, so...
And for the side, so the one-off, the Panko Top's going second, and Harpies versus back row. 3 Bell, I think Bell is really good. I would probably main it, but it's like Ash, it's a soft hand trap. It doesn't negate destroy, which is the problem. But this is insane in Eldritch Mirrors. It's very good. Sorry, not Eldritch Machine, Dogmatika Mirrors in Eldritch matchup because you can hit the Sanguine, you can hit the Eldritch Great Effect to add to hand. And in Mirror, you can hit Invocation, you can hit Nadir Servant, you can hit Schism.
Very nice.
If they don't have Meltdown. But
this card just kind of stops all the auto losses, really.
Yeah, and this card is actually as good as Ash in the Mirror.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because Ash hits the same thing. And the other good hand traps, Lancia. I don't like Lancia main because it's kind of awkward versus Eldritch, because a lot of times Eldritch banish on your turn and you cannot Lancia on your own turn.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
And even if you manage to Lancia them and you put them back 1 turn, unless you kill them, it didn't really do anything because all their resources float in grave anyway.
Yeah, I think it's just more like if you open it's a hard hand trap to just stop people's turn. Like Dragon Link, like Dino.
Yeah.
It doesn't do as much versus Eldritch. Sometimes I don't even start it in because it's just so hit and miss. This is like a testing. Phantasma is... depends on your load form, I think. Because if you have a lot of dragons, if you have a lot of Lyrilusks, I think this is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's also just really bad versus most other decks. It's a hit and miss. But just for testing, and obviously the third Droplet and the third Cosmic makes starting very easy as well. Another reason to play 2-2 is because if you play more of these 2s off, you can see it more from the Prosperity. It makes Prosperity more of a stack card. You can probably just look for the cards you need.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then Evenly, I think Evenly is really good because you can just blind, Eldritch is a problem, but if you blow them out with Evenly, you just kill them. And versus Tri-Brigade, if they don't have the spell and trap negate, and they just have the barrier, you can just evenly match, and once they lose, so evenly, you could also play Lightning Storm, but I think evenly is better because this deck doesn't really need Battle Phase that much. We don't make Zeus, we don't need the Battle Phase, and we can just out their board and set up Winder. We can win on
Winder's probably your best card.
Yeah,
that's real. If you set that up next to a Mechaba, a lot of decks just ain't playing.
Basically, yeah. This is just you get so much pluses by your opponent banishing key cards. Versus the Tri-Brigade, I've learned that if they don't play multiple Simorgs, once you out their Simorg, they basically lose. Because they don't have resources to go into another. And even if you go into another, you can probably just out it with Makaba or anything.
Yeah.
Because you lose your barrier statue, they lose their everything. What did he do? And that's it, deck profile.
Very, very nice. Well, thank you very much. Have you got any shout outs at all?
Shout out to Harry Jeffrey, who basically taught me Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch about a year ago.
Oh, that's very nice. Shout outs to Harry.
Shout out to Dylan Brewster, Carmen, Tyson, and Becky.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you very much.